From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Audrey Wheel. Thanks for joining us. Cronkite News strives to bring Arizonans insightful stories on topics that set our coverage apart: borderlands issues, consumer and health, education, future and technology, legal and law enforcement, money and business, sustainability, and in-depth accountability reporting. Tonight, a showcase of some of our top stories from those topics.
ASU is now one of 4 universities that's established a special investigations unit to deal specifically with sexual assault. Cronkite News reporter Ivan Rodriguez took a look at how this new unit will operate.
ASU, along with dozens of other universities, has been under investigation by the U.S. Department of Education since last year for how it handles sex assault cases. The university has been making changes, including requiring students to attend assault awareness programs. The latest includes this special victims unit, and they say their focus will be on the victim.
One student being victimized by sexual violence is one too many.
The ASU Police Department protects the largest public university in the nation, spread across 4 campuses.
The population that we protect and serve on a day-to-day basis happens to consist of the highest demographic for victims of sexual violence, being females ages 18 to 24.
The new Special Victims Unit will focus not just on sexual assault, but dating violence, domestic violence, and crimes against children. But no matter the investigation, the 5-person investigative team wants to help the victim get through the traumatic event.
We want to help the victims find justice for their situation, and at the same time, if we create an environment where victims feel comfortable working with the police department and the university when they're having to go through these investigations, we're hoping that that word gets out so that other victims feel more comfortable to come forward with their stories.
The group Students for Consent, which tries to educate students on how to prevent sexual violence, agrees with the department's focus on the victim.
I am glad, though, that ASU is taking the steps forward to take care of their student body and make sure that the cases that come to their desk are taken with appropriate care and that the victims are kept in mind as they are going through this, at times, really traumatic process of having to relive and explain and be interrogated.
ASU PD began their operations during the summer. The detectives heading the unit have gone through extensive training in the area of sexual assault, response, investigation, and victimology. In the broadcast center, Ivan Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
Arizona has a staggering number of unidentified bodies sitting in medical examiners' offices. Cronkite News reporter Angie Schuster spoke with some of Maricopa County's forensic scientists to learn how they help match missing persons with unidentified remains.
Arizona ranks number 2 in the country when it comes to the number of unidentified bodies, 13% of the nation's total. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office is working hard to find identifying factors of these bodies and give their families some closure.
I can tell you that he's in his late 30s, early 40s. He's about 5'10", and he's a white male who was shot twice and found in the Superstition Mountains in '92.
Dr. Fulgenetti specializes in scene recovery, skeletal analysis, and trauma interpretation.
If somebody knew who he was, they would say he complained about back pain all the time.
Arizona has nearly 1,300 unidentified decedents, and the Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office sees nearly 500 unidentified body cases a year.
And it's a great place to dump bodies. We have immigrant border crossing issues as well, where the individuals will pass away in the desert, and they, because of the heat, they decompose at a faster rate and they become skeletal remains, and that makes it so much more difficult to identify the person.
The county's specialized forensic team looks for injuries or medical issues to help identify remains.
And if you look at the edges of that bone, can you see how they're lipped over and there's a lot of extra bone? That is called arthritis.
The Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office uses dental records, fingerprinting, and other techniques to help match unidentified bodies with missing persons.
Take an x-ray of this case. That's the image right there. It tells me that we have a couple of fillings on 2 bicuspids. And that's really unique of this individual.
Dr. John Piakis, a forensic odontologist, uses x-rays to match unidentified persons with premortem dental records.
If we can get some missing dental records that have similar or concordant points like this, we can possibly do the identification.
The Medical Examiner's Office will hold a Missing in Arizona Day on October 24th at the ASUS campus. They're encouraging families who have missing loved ones to bring in photographs, dental records, and other identifiers in the hope that they can connect the information to one of the unidentified remains at their office. Angie Schuster, Cronkite News.
Another whistleblower from the Phoenix VA hospital is stepping forward and testifying before Congress today about the hospital's misdeeds. Cronkite News reporter Elizabeth Blackburn takes us inside the hearing room.
When Brandon Coleman spoke out about the way the Department of Veterans Affairs was handling suicidal vets, he thought he was doing the right thing. He did not expect the response he got from administrators.
I came forward because of the suicidal vets. I was accused of threatening an employee when they said they couldn't fire, when the director was told he couldn't fire me for telling the truth on the news. So I was removed, taken out of my position 2 weeks later. I have fought nonstop.
Coleman was placed on administrative leave in February, shortly after speaking out on ABC 15, and wants the director to be held accountable for his actions. And so for instances like mine, to have a director have a meeting to propose my removal after I came forward because suicidal veterans were, freely walking out of the hospital is just wrong. So we need accountability. Directors like that need to be fired for breaking the law. And until that starts happening, whistleblowers are going to be afraid to talk. He was one of 4 VA whistleblowers whose testimony brought a sharp response from lawmakers like Senator John McCain, who said retaliation must stop.
So we will do everything we can to hold them accountable. And what bothers us is that what happens to you is a strong disincentive for others to act with your courage.
Coleman says it is a privilege to work with veterans, and now he just wants to get back to his job.
So, and this is just the start. I won't stop until I'm back in a safe environment at my hospital, at the Phoenix VA hospital, running my 52-week treatment program called Motivation for Change.
In Washington, Elizabeth Blackburn, Cronkite News.
When questioned by senators, VA officials at the hearing were not able to say how many people have been disciplined at the agency since the scandal first surfaced early last year.
It's time to put down the cell phones and put 2 hands on the wheel instead, at least in the city of Tempe. Council members have passed a law that will not only ban the use of cell phones, but other forms of distracted driving. Tempe is now one of only a few cities in the state, including Phoenix and Tucson, that have regulations on texting while driving. Different from ordinances in those cities, the new Tempe law aims to cut down on more than just texting while driving.
The Phoenix ordinance was not enforced at all. Matter of fact, that issued almost no tickets. And the reason being is they pull somebody over and the person says, well, I'm not texting and driving, I was checking Google Maps or playing Angry Birds or doing whatever.
According to the National Traffic Safety Administration, distracted driving is the leading cause of death for teens and is 6 times more dangerous than drinking and driving.
People text and drive or talk on their phone and drive, and they think I'm safe, so I don't need a rule against it. Well, my crazy uncle thinks he can drive drunk safe. That doesn't mean he's right, it just means he's been lucky.
While the Governor's Office of Highway Safety agreed with what the ordinance was trying to accomplish, they are skeptical of what the actual outcome will be.
Cities can pass ordinance. The key is they have to be enforced. The city of Tempe they do a great job. They got a fantastic police department who is very devoted to traffic safety, but at the same time, they have a lot of priorities they have to handle besides this ordinance.
The new law will become effective starting October 23rd.
Drivers have 25 days to change their habits. Drivers have 25 days to change their habits. Otherwise, fines start at $100 and increase from there. Live in Tempe, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
We have comprehensive coverage from Washington on this historic event, starting with a group of women marching 100 miles to a site the Pope will visit, bringing attention to the deportation and separation of families. Cronkite News reporter Adriana Barajas is live in the Capitol with more.
The women who marched the last few miles into Washington today know that they are not going to meet with Pope Francis, but they still hope their message will be heard. Tired, hungry, and sleepy is what these 100 women felt after walking 100 miles from a detention center in Pennsylvania to Washington, D.C. Their hope is that Pope Francis hears their stories and that the world hears the injustices they say they've encountered under the current immigration system in this country. For Maria Elena Podaca, being separated from her husband 5 years ago was not easy.
It's been 5 years since my husband and brother-in-law were deported to Mexico.
The pain her family went through is the reason she joined the We Belong Together movement to advocate for other families who may be going through the same thing.
Well, the other reason I came was because of the injustices that are happening in Arizona, deportations and families being separated.
With blisters in her feet, Maria Cruz Ramirez kept walking.
1 week since I've been walking. I was one of many women who didn't give up.
Her motivation was
pain and suffering of those families and people who are in detention centers and who have left family, kids, and spouses behind.
Their message to Pope Francis is that he advocates for the immigrant community and that he brings justice to those who are being affected. But these women are also inviting other women to join their advocacy.
Women of Arizona, please don't give up the fight. We need to have the strength and power to make our dreams possible with our families here in the United States.
And to not be afraid.
Well, I want to tell those women to come out and to stop being afraid. I was afraid once, but I overcame that and I am here now.
They are one of the many groups in Washington this week during the Pope's visit who are pushing causes that range from pro-life to climate change. Live in Washington, Adriana Barajas, Cronkite News.
This weekend marked the one-year anniversary of the disappearance of 43 students in Mexico. The demonstrators are demanding justice from the Mexican government and the students and thousands of people who disappeared. Cronkite News reporter Katie Beery witnessed the protest and heard the voices of hope for a safe return.
Miguel Ángel Mendoza Zacarías. Justicia. Abelardo Vázquez Penitén. Justicia.
43 names scrawled on a white piece of paper.
Justicia.
Of 43 students who disappeared a year ago.
Justicia.
43 reasons this group is calling for justicia, justice.
Justicia. Justicia.
Dozens protested outside the Mexican consulate in Phoenix on the anniversary of the students' disappearance in Mexico.
Not only here, but there is action internationally, worldwide.
Many gave up a day's wages to be here. Cipriano Gonzalez worries about his own son, who is currently studying in Mexico.
I share the pain of all the families, parents, children, siblings, and friends of the missing students.
Ruth Gonzalez says it's important for Arizona residents to take action.
The United States can pressure Mexico to investigate the case.
She and others have held weekly demonstrations outside the Mexican consulate for the past year, and they vow to continue the high-profile protests to make sure the 43 missing students are not forgotten. In downtown Phoenix, Katie Beery, Cronkite News.
Mexico's president met with parents of some of the missing students. He said the investigation remains open. So far, 100 people have been arrested in connection with the case, including police officers and the mayor of the town where they disappeared.
A federal court ruling could end a program that affects tens of thousands of international students specializing in science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM students could qualify to work in this country for more than 2 years after graduation. Cronkite News reporter Fan Wang has reaction to the ruling.
International students are facing more uncertainty about their job opportunities in the U.S.
There's definitely an anxiety among the international students about this.
A federal court temporarily eliminated a provision that allows international STEM students to extend their year-long work permit an additional 17 months.
I was a little surprised because the rule has been in existence since 2008, I think.
Salman Chima is originally from Pakistan. He leads the research team at ASU, where 13 out of 14 people are international students.
In the U.S. market, there was more need of technical workers, and there were not enough U.S. citizens and permanent residents that had that kind of qualifications.
But the Washington Alliance of Technology Workers filed a lawsuit arguing the STEM extension caused injury to its members through increased competition. The federal court in Washington granted the Department of Homeland Security 6 months until February 12, 2016 to comply with the 90-day public notice and comment requirement.
If I understood the court decision correctly, it seemed more of a procedural violation, that if they followed the procedure correctly, they didn't have any objection in principle to the rule itself. So that seems a little hopeful. But in the meantime, there is a bit of uncertainty, yeah.
International STEM students can continue to apply for an extension until the ruling is final. In Tempe, Fan Wang, Cronkite News.
Mexico will start requiring Americans and other foreigners walking across the border to show their passport.
That's a big change for Arizonans used to planning quick and easy trips to places like Rocky Point. Cronkite News Borderlands reporter Carla Leon traveled to San Ysidro in Southern California, the first border crossing where the rule is now enforced.
On the southwest border, people are used to showing proof of citizenship to enter the U.S.
I do business in Baja California and I do business here in California, so I cross the border every day.
Alex Castian is among 9 million pedestrians a year who use the busy San Ysidro crossing. The new facility includes a separate line for foreigners who, in addition to showing their passport, will have to fill out a form. Many border residents worry that it will create a new backlog, and this time for people visiting Mexico.
With the new procedures taking place, foreigners are not only affected economically, but also in their personal lives.
I am extremely upset about all this because it's just scaring people away, and Tijuana lives for San Diego.
Border cities in Mexico depend on tourism. It's very bad, says Arturo Ramirez, who earns tips carrying bags for Americans using this cart. For now, the passport requirement is only being enforced at the San Ysidro pedestrian crossing, but eventually Mexico will expand it border-wide. In San Diego, I'm Carla Leon for Cronkite News.
Tattoos are a way to express yourself, but what happens when you don't want one anymore? I spoke with the medical directors of 2 companies who are using tattoo removal technology to make erasing tattoos easier than ever. At Delete Tattoo Removal and Laser Salon, it's just another day in the office.
And 10.
Dr. Jennifer Munn says she is removing tattoos quicker than has ever been done before with a machine called the Pico Way.
The Pico Way fires in a picosecond, which is 100 times faster, sort of in and out way faster, and that breaks up the ink into smaller pieces.
And look at the results.
Now this one is done. Now this is what I expect. We've pretty much been switching every single patient to this laser, and they are happy.
And while Dr. Munn and the professionals at Delete Tattoo Removal prefer the Pico Way, the individuals at Tattoo Removal AZ at TrueMed Spa prefer a different type of technology. It's called Nano Q-Switched technology, and Dr. Kevin Choi has been using it for the last year.
It's just like when you use acoustic energy to break apart the glass, you use the same concept.
He says the process is quick, between 30 seconds and 5 minutes, depending on the size of the tattoo. But it sure doesn't tickle.
So it kind of feels like bacon grease being shot at you over and over again.
Despite the pain, both businesses say they have more clients than ever. In fact, according to research done by MarketWatch, revenue from tattoo removal has gone up 440% in the last decade.
1, 2, 3.
How much does it cost? Well, according to Tattoo Removal AZ's website, tattoo removal can cost anywhere from $200 to $1,000, depending on the size and color of the tattoo.
NASA has announced there are definitive signs of liquid water on Mars. Cronkite News reporter Wafa Shahid took a closer look into Arizona's ties to the new discovery.
The discovery of liquid water is making scientists reevaluate what they thought about Mars previously. Talk of the possibility of life forms is generating a lot of excitement in the science community and beyond. Turns out the discovery hit pretty close to home for Arizonans. Alfred McEwen, a professor at the University of Arizona, along with other scientists, identified waterlogged salts from the images you can see here captured on Mars. Dark, narrow streaks that are a few hundred yards long are on many Martian slopes, including the Hale crater. The salts in the streaks reveal that the origin could be from an underground source of briny water.
We are now at a point, technologically, with over 50 years of successful spaceflight, that we have the capability to go there, ask this question of is there life on Mars, and answer it.
And it's not only U of A research that moves forward with this discovery. Arizona State University's Mars Space Flight Facility is looking into the implications. ASU developed the tools used to explore the geology and minerals on the Red Planet during the Mars rover missions. I'm Wafa Shahid, Cronkite News.
Arizona is considered one of the worst states with a local commitment for local food, meaning local farmers aren't selling as much produce to customers in their area. I visited local farmers markets and spoke to the founder of a website to learn more about how they are looking to change that. Sweet bell peppers, juicy tomatoes, and crisp heads of lettuce. At farmers markets across the state, these are some of the local foods you'll find.
It's healthy, it's vibrant, it's alive, it's colorful, it tastes good, and you just don't get that in the grocery store.
Shopper Eric Rodemaker explains why he's up early at the Roadrunner Park Farmers Market in Phoenix.
Supporting the local agriculture community.
The support extends financially as well. A common misconception is that buying local food doesn't affect the state's economy, but that's not the case.
And the money stays here in the local economy, so as opposed to buying something at a national chain, you buy something locally, 75% of that money stays here in town.
And that's why there's a push now to make local food more available to Arizonans. Natalie Morris from Local First Arizona created the Good Food Finder to make finding local food easy.
I was really curious to see just how many small and medium scale food producers there were here in the state of Arizona, and I was willing to place a bet that we had quite a lot.
The website located nearly 200 Arizona farms and farmers markets alone, but Arizona still falls short on the national scale. The 2015 Locavore Index found that of the 50 states and Washington, D.C., Arizona has the second lowest per capita sales for local foods. Morris thinks the website will help with that.
A place for farmers and food artisans in the state to be able to promote themselves.
And as the project develops, that's what farmers say they'll do. Starting in October, most farmers markets in the state are adjusting their hours for the fall season. For more information on hours and locations, visit goodfoodfinder.com.
The internet is the way of life these days, but what supports the physical side of the internet? Cronkite News reporter Alicia Leonage tells us how two Valley companies have come together to find an efficient solution.
That's the sound of our society in 2015.
Handheld books used to be all that we knew, until we pushed them aside. Now everything is just a click away.
Staying connected means increasing the demand for digital infrastructure. The internet relies on data centers, buildings that store and process all the information. SRP's Clint Poole says today data centers consume 2% of all the power in the United States.
By the year 2030, data centers could grow to the rate of 20% of all U.S. power consumption.
With the growth of technology comes the demand for more resources.
All of these things are driving the expansion of the internet. Physically, that means more telecommunications cables, more data centers bring more power lines.
Yet SRP spokesperson Jeff Lane says the utility is staying ahead of the curve.
This is the first time it's been done in the world where a modular data center has been plugged into essentially an SRP power station.
SRP teamed up with BaseLayer, a Valley technology company that constructs the modular data centers. These data centers are not only concealed, but they are located at an SRP electric substation and are plugged into the most reliable power source.
We're driving costs down because of the power reliability, you need less power infrastructure to support the reliability requirement.
And that means fewer transmission lines crisscrossing the state. In Phoenix, Alicia Leonage, Cronkite News.
SRP powers the data stations with 100% renewable energy. This is through the Renewable Edit credit program. Northern Arizona University is billed as the first university to install a solar-powered heating system, and it's following a national trend towards university sustainability. Cronkite News reporter Ebony Johnson took a closer look at the university's plan. Ebony?
Northern Arizona University is treating natural gas-fueled heat with a solar thermal technology. It's the first to be used on a university campus. It's called the Solar Thermal Hot Air Heating System, a long name for what creator Michael Corden calls a simple heating process.
Bring in air in the backside bottom. We bring it in through this special manifold we've designed to make the air flow evenly across the entire surface of this panel. It goes out through a similar design manifold and comes out the back.
The new technology is helping the Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks make their mark, honored by Arizona Forward as the most innovative school for energy and technology.
I want to be able to ride the momentum and continue doing awesome projects like this that really get NAU's name out there within the sustainability world.
Jessica Laser is the chair of Green Fund, the group that funded the solar heating project. The goal? To reduce the use of natural gases on campus.
Just by using solar energy, they offset our natural gas use and reduce our emissions by 3 metric tons of CO2 a year.
This wall-mounted 6-panel system stands 8 feet tall and 24 feet wide on the south side of this NAU warehouse, with the sole purpose to heat this building 6 months out of the year, reducing the university's carbon footprint. But the benefit may reach beyond the university. Cordan believes these thermal panels can help the public in a more efficient way.
We are very interested in preventing people from freezing to death in their homes. So if we can take this very effective solar technology to them with some assistance, we'd be just thrilled to do some good in our own backyard.
Solar Thermex hopes donations may eventually fund a plan to put these units on tribal lands to help the elderly keep warm in the colder high country winters. One panel costs about $1,000, but it can heat 1,000 square feet. That's why Cordan says this new technology will pay itself off in time. In the broadcast center, Ebony Johnson, Cronkite News.